So this is extensions of governor. This is another type of governor called Proel governor. So this also deadweight governor only. So the difference between the Porter governor and Proel governor is, in case of Porter governor, the ball will be fixed at the junction of upper arm and lower arm. But here with some extension link. So this is a extension link of the lower arm. So the lower arm and the link FB are integral part. And this way it is connected. If you draw the one part, that is one half of the Proel governor with force applied, you can represent like this. This is a free body diagram. So here, what all the forces are acting? Here there is FC that is acting towards outward, circumferentially outward, and the weight of the ball is acting here, and the sleeve mass is acting here. There are two. Actually, the weight of the sleeve is the W. We are taking one part, so W by 2. W by 2. So this is the forces are acting, and writing the equilibrium equation and solving this, you will get the speed. To calculate the speed, n square is equal to Fm. Fm divided by Bm. So this is B, this is M, Bm. Bm within bracket. The equation is, if you neglect the friction as well as if okay, if you neglect the friction, then the equation will be M plus capital M into by 2 1 plus Q divided by small m into 895 divided by H. This is the equation. If Q is equal to 1, when Q is equal to 1, alpha is equal to beta, then Q is equal to 1, then the equation will be n square is equal to Fm by Bm within bracket small m capital M divided by small m into 895 divided by H. So this is the equation. So now we solve one problem. You solve one problem in this. A portal governor has equal arm of length 300 millimeters. Arm length is 300 millimeter. The upper arm and the lower arm are pivoted on the axis of the governor. So both upper arm as well as lower arm are pivoted in the axis. The extension of the arm of the lower link is 80 millimeter. So that is, this is 80 millimeter. That is BF. BF is equal to 80 millimeter and parallel to axis. When the radius of rotation of the ball is 150 millimeter. When radius of the ball is 150 millimeter, it is parallel, and 200 millimeter. So there are two extreme radiuses. One is at the minimum speed, it is at 150 millimeter. When it is maximum speed, it is 200 millimeter. The mass of each ball is 10 kg. So this ball weight is 10 kg. The mass of the central load, sleeve mass, is 100. So determine the range of speed. So this is a given problem. So here it is given that the arm length is 300 millimeter. So this is given. Arm length is 300 millimeters. Both are pivoted in the axis. That is another condition. And the extension arm. So this is the extension arm. Fm is equal to 80 millimeters. It's parallel to the axis. And the radius of the balls are 150 millimeter and 200 millimeter. There are two conditions. 200 millimeter. The mass of the each ball is 10 kg. So this is equal to 10 kg, and sleeve is equal to 100 kg. That will capital M is equal to 100 kg. Range of speed. So here, since both are pivoted at the axis and as well as the length of the arms are same, alpha is equal to beta. Alpha is equal to beta. Then the equation for speed is, what is the equation for speed? If you want to find n1, that is equal to Fm divided by Bm within bracket m plus capital M by small m into 895 by h. So this is the equation. So now we have to calculate one by one. First, let us calculate the value of h. H1. Let us take this is h1. So h1, this distance, this is PG. Distance h1 is equal to, this is 300 square, this is 150 square. So you can find this distance, root of 300 square minus 150 square. So this will give the value of h1, that will be equal to 260 millimeters. Then to find the value of n, you got to find the value of Fm. Fm. What is Fm? Fm is equal to this distance. This distance. This distance will be equal to GD distance. Fm is equal to GD. GD is equal to this distance, PG. PG is equal to H1. PG is equal to H1. So the Fm is equal to, again, 260 millimeters. 260 millimeters. Then we have to find the value of Bm. What is Bm? Bm is equal to Bf plus Fm. Fm. So Bf plus Fm. Already Bf distance already it is given, it is 80 millimeters. So 80 and Fm distance is 260. So 260 if you put, you will get this is equal to 340 millimeters. 340 millimeters. Now substitute in this equation, that is N1 is equal to Fm 260 divided by 340. 340 within brackets, M is equal to 10 kg, small m is equal to 10 kg, capital M is equal to 100 kg. 100 divided by 10 multiplied by 895 divided by h. Substitute h in meter, 0.26. So this will give the value of N1. N1 is equal to 170 RPM. 170 RPM. Similarly, you find the value of N2. So the same equation. So here you have to find the value of N2, right? So use this diagram. This is a next diagram. So this is at higher speed. So the position is, the radius of rotation at this speed is 200 millimeters. 200 millimeters. Now you find the value of H2. So PG is equal to H2. PG is equal to H2. H2 is equal to how much? 300 square minus 200 square, root of 300 square minus 200 square, root of, what is this value? 224 millimeters. Now you find the value of Fm. Find the value of Fm. Fm is equal to GD. Fm is equal to, this is equal to this distance. This is equal to this distance. Since these two are symmetrical, actually this alpha beta are same, then this GD is equal to PG. So that is equal to PG, that is equal to 224 millimeters. Now BM, the distance BM is equal to BF plus Fm, that is equal to 80 plus 224. How much it is? 304 millimeter. Now we find the value of N2. F is equal, N2 is equal to Fm by Bm. Fm is equal to 224 divided by 304 within bracket. M is equal to 10 kg. Capital M is equal to how much it is? 100 kg. 100 divided by 10 into 895 divided by H2. What is the value of H2? 224. But you substitute in meter. 2 to 4. It will give N2. N2 is equal to how much? 180 RPM. 180 RPM. So now range of speed N2 is equal to N2 minus N1 is equal to 180 minus 170 is equal to 10 RPM. So when the radius of rotation is 150 millimeter, the corresponding speed is 170 RPM. When the radius of rotation increases, that means sleeve lifting. So speed is increasing. So the speed will be 180 RPM. So the range of speed is 10 RPM. Right? Now we are going to discuss about Hartnell governor. So this is the Hartnell governor. Here we have the sleeve here. Here we have bell crank lever. Bell crank lever, it is pivoted at this point. Another bell crank lever, this is pivoted at this point. One end is pivoted at the axle. Another end we have the ball. Here also we have ball. And we have spring here. We have spring here. When it is rotating at lower speed, it will be like this. It will be like this. When higher speed, it will be like this. So now we will see how it is. Right. So this sleeve will be moving up and down when the speeds are changing. So now these are the position. These are the position. So when at lower speed, this is the position of the bell crank lever. So the force acting at this point, the force acting at this point will be 2. One is the sleeve mass. Sleeve mass will be acting in the downward direction. And when the spring is compressed, that force also will be acting. There are two forces. One is mass of the sleeve, Fg, and spring force. S1 is equal to spring force divided by 2, because we are taking the half of only one half we are taking. So the force acting in this point will be mg plus S1 by 2. This is a force acting at this point. At this ball, if you take, the ball weight will be acting in the downward direction and centrifugal force will be acting in this direction. So this is a pivot point. Similarly for the next speed here, the mass of the sleeve will be same, but spring force will be changing. Spring force will be S2. At this position, it will be S2. Centrifugal force will be Fc2. Mass of the ball will be the same. Centrifugal will be, when the speed increases, the spring will be compressed more, and the spring force will be changing, and centrifugal force will be changing. Now, it can be written in form of equation. If you write the equilibrium equation for this force, we are taking moment about this point. This force into this distance, perpendicular distance, we have to take. However, this distance is available for us when the angle is very small. Y1 will be equal to Y, approximately equal to Y. So instead of Y1, we are taking Y, right? So this force into Y. So this will create a clockwise couple. The F1 will create a counterclockwise couple. Since as compared to FC1 and Ng and Si, this will be very, very less. So this not taken for consideration. So FC2 will create a counterclockwise moment. This will create a clockwise moment. Both will be equal. So this is FC1 into X. FC1 into the perpendicular distance, X, we are taking. So this is X. So FC1 into X is equal to mg plus S1 by 2 into Y. So if you rearrange this equation, you will get this equation. You will get this equation. You take the two right side, and you will get Y right side. You will get the equation like this. Similarly, for the second position, mg plus S2 by 2 into Y is equal to FC2 into X for this position. Then you will get the equation like this. If you find the difference between these two equations, this equation minus this equation, if you put, you will get this equation. You will get this equation. If you put, this will cancel. So S2 minus S1. S2 minus S1 is equal to 2 into FC2 minus FC1 into X by Y. So this is a difference of this equation. And one more relation we have, the height of the lift of the sleeve lift of the governor. What is sleeve lift? So initially the position of the Belkrang lever is here. So now this is a mean position. The distance between the mean position and this is taken as h1. This is taken as h1. So this can be calculated in terms of radius. In terms of radius, so this is the axis. Now we are taking this is r1 and this is a1. R1 is the radius of the ball at mean speed, minimum speed. R2 is the radius of the ball at maximum speed. So now this distance h1, h1 by y, h1 by this y distance, h1 by y is equal to this distance a1, a1 by x, a1 by x. What is a1? A1 is equal to this is equal to r. This is equal to r. So r minus r1 is equal to a1. R minus r1 is equal to a1. If you take the similar triangle, what are the two similar triangles? This triangle and this triangle. If you take these two triangles, this distance by this distance is equal to this distance by this distance. That's what we have put. That is h1 by y is equal to a1 by x. What is a1? R minus r1. So similarly for this one, h2 divided by y, h2 divided by y is equal to a2 divided by x. So what is a2? A2 is equal to r plus r2, r2 minus r, r2 minus r. So when you add these two equations, you will get this. That is h is equal to r2 minus r1 into y by x. This one you will get. So this and all will help to find the stiffness of the spring. How to find the stiffness of the spring? At this position, spring will be slightly compressed. The spring force is taken as S1. Now this is another position. At this point, the spring force is equal to S2. So the net force is equal to S2 minus S1. What is the deflection? Deflection is equal to H1 plus H2. That is equal to that is taken as H. So the force divided by deflection is equal to stiffness. Here for this force, initial force is S1, the final force is S2. S2 minus S1. What is this height? That is equal to H. The compression of the spring is H. So S2 minus S1 into H is equal to stiffness. So that's what given here. So if you want to find the initial compression of the spring, initially how much the spring is compressed, if you want to find S1 by put K, this will be the initial compression. S1 is the force at the initial condition divided by stiffness. So these are all the equations. So using this, you will solve one problem. Right? So now, in a spring-loaded Hartnell governor, the mass of each ball is 1 kg. So the ball is 1 kg. Length of the vertical arm of bell crank lever is 100 millimeter. So here we have a bell crank lever. Here vertical arm. So this is a vertical arm. So what is this? We have taken this is x. X is equal to 100 millimeter. And that of horizontal arm is, that is y. This y distance, horizontal arm distance y is equal to 50 millimeter. The distance of the fulcrum of each bell crank is 80 millimeter from the axis of the rotation. Fulcrum of each bell crank lever is 80 millimeter. That is this distance. This is equal to 80 millimeters. It is given that the distance of the fulcrum of the each bell crank lever is 80 millimeter. So what is that? So that is fulcrum. Okay. So that is 80 millimeters from the axis. So this distance, the fulcrum. So this is a fulcrum. This is a fulcrum of each bell cantilever is 80 millimeter from the axis of rotation. So this is 80 millimeters. This is 80 millimeters. And the extreme radius of rotation of the ball. So the is 75 millimeter and 112.5 millimeter. That is R1 and R2. R1 is equal to 75 millimeter. R2 is equal to 112.5 millimeters. And the maximum equilibrium speed is 5% greater than the minimum equilibrium speed. So minimum equilibrium speed is N1 is equal to 360 RPM. Then omega 1 is equal to 2 pi n by 60. 2 pi n1 by 60. That is equal to 37.7 radian per second. Omega 2 is equal to 5% higher. 5% higher. So 37.5 into 5%, that is 1.05. That will be equal to 39.6. 39.6 radian per second, omega 2. And we have to find, neglecting the obliquity of the arm, initial compression of the spring. You have to find the initial compression of the spring. Already you have seen what is initial compression. Initial compression is S1 by K. S1 by K. So we have to find all those things. If you want to find out K, we need to find S2, S1, H. Then you can find the value of K. After find the value of K, you can find the initial compression. So for that, you have to write these equations. Writing this equation. From this equation, you can find the value of S1. From this equation, you can find the value of S2. Then you find the value of H using this equation. H using this equation. What is H? H is equal to R2 minus R1 by Y by X. Then we can calculate 1 by 1. So here, what is the value of H? H is equal to R1 minus R2 into Y by X, right? So R2 minus R1 into Y by X. So this is a R2 minus R1 into Y by X. First, in this equation, you find the value of S1. You find the value of S1. To find the value of S1, in the problem, M mass of the sleeve, it is given. It is not given in the problem. Not given. So what you can do, then S1, that you have to find. X and Y values are given. X and Y values are given. FC1 you got to find. What is FC1? Centrifugal force. That is M into omega 1 square into R1. What is M? M is equal to 1 kg. Mass of the ball is equal to 1 kg. So 1 into omega 1. What is the value of omega 1? It is 37.7. 37.7 square into R1. What is the value of R1? R1 is equal to 75 millimeters. 75 millimeters. So 0.075. So this will give the value of F1. What is the value of FC1? It is 106.6 Newton. Similarly, find the value of F2. FC2. FC2 is equal to same M into omega 2 square into R2. So 1 into, what is omega 2? Omega 2 is equal to 39.6. 39.6 square into R2. What is the value of R2? This is 112. So 0.1125. So if you calculate the value of FC2, that is 176. 176.4 Newton. So now, if we have to calculate, we calculate FC1 and FC2. Substitute in this equation, we can find the value of S2 minus S1. S2 minus S1. If you subtract this equation from this, you will get S2 minus S1 is equal to, S2 minus S1 is equal to 2 into FC2 minus FC1 into x by y. So here 2 into what is the value of FC2, that is 176. 176.4 minus 106.6 into x by y. X is equal to 100, y is equal to 50. So 100 divided by 50. So this will give S2 minus S1. S2 minus S1. Right? So that is 750.6 minus 426. 426.4. So this is a value. This is a value of S2 minus S1. So now we have to find the value of H. We have to find the value of H. Using this equation, find the value of H. How to find H? H is equal to R2 minus R1. R2 is equal to 112. So let us put in meters. 0. R you can put in millimeter also, no problem. 112.5 minus 75 into y by x. Y is equal to 50. 50 by 100. So this will the value of H. H is equal to 18 millimeters. 18 millimeters. So now you can find the stiffness. You can find the stiffness. What is stiffness? S2 minus S1 divided by H. What is S2 minus S1? This is 750.6 minus 426. 426.6 divided by H value. H is equal to 18. If you put, it will give the value of K. What is the value of K? It is 14.89 Newton per millimeter. Now we can find the initial compression. We have to find the initial compression. So initial compression is equal to S1 by K. S1 by K. If you put, it will give 28.6 millimeters. This will be the initial. So what is initial compression? So at this position, how much the spring was compressed? Spring will be here. How much the spring was compressed? So this is a way you can solve this problem. So everything is given here. Now this is Wilson-Hartnell governor. This is another type of governor. Here also we have a bell crank lever. In the Hartnell governor, spring was connected here, but here the spring is connected here. Spring is connected in between two balls. This is another type of governor, Wilson-Hartnell governor. This is Hartung governor. This is Hartung governor. Here we have the bell crank lever. So here we have the spring. Here we have the spring. Here we have the spring. And instead of fixing the spring here in the Hartnell governor, the spring is fixed here in case of Hartung governor. This is another type of governor. Another is Pickering governor. Another is Pickering governor. So here this is spindle. This is a spindle net, and this is a sleeve. Spindle net and sleeve are connected by a number of leaves. Number of leaves. In the leaves, at the center of the leaves, we have the mass. We have the mass. When the spindle is rotated, due to the deflection of the leaf, it has a mass. So when it is rotated, due to the centrifugal force, it will be moving outward, and the sleeve will be lifting. So this will be connected with the throttle valve. So this is Pickering governor, another type of governor. So now we are going to discuss about sensitivity. What is sensitivity? So now you consider two governors. Governor A and B. There are two governors. Now you increase the speed of both the governors by same amount. Same amount you increase the speed, but you assume that if the governor sleeve lift of the governor A is greater than the sleeve lift of the governor B, then the governor A is said to be sensitive, more sensitive than B. There are two governors, governor A and governor B. When speed is increased by same amount for both the governor, the sleeve lift of the governor A is greater than B. Sleeve lift is more in A, less in B, then the governor A is more sensitive. Governor A is more sensitive. So that is a sensitivity, right? Stability. Stability means uh, a governor is said to be stable when for every speed within the working range, there's a definite configuration. There's a definite configuration. For example, a governor is like this. A governor is like this. So this is spindle, some mass of the ball. Here we have the sleeve. So now, if you are rotating at some speed, it is occupying this position. For the speed n1, it is occupying this position. If you increase the speed, it is occupying this position. So after that, again you rotate with speed n1, it has to occupy the same configuration, same position. So always, whenever the speed for so that is the meaning of stability. That is, for every speed within the working range, there is a definite configuration. There is a definite configuration. If it is rotated at n1, it should occupy only this position. It should not occupy some other position. It must occupy this position. So every time you change to some speed and you come to n1, it should occupy this position. That is definite configuration. Definite configuration. So a governor is said to be stable when for every speed within the working range, there should be a definite configuration. Definite configuration. So this type of governor only we require. That is, for stable governor, if equilibrium speed is increased, the radius of governor ball must also increase. Must also increase. Now, stability means it should occupy definite configuration for a particular speed. Now, isochronous. Isochronous means if the governor is infinite sensitivity. If sensitivity is infinite, then the governor is said to be isochronous. Infinity means without changing the speed, the sleeve will lift. The radius of rotation will change. So this is a governor. This is a governor. You are not changing the speed, but sleeve is moving up and down. The sleeve is moving up. So without changing the speed, if you increase the speed, the sleeve has to move upward. If you decrease the speed, sleeve has to move downward. But without changing the speed, if the sleeve is moving, that is known as isochronous. That is infinite sensitivity. Infinite sensitivity. Without changing the speed, for speed is constant. Speed is constant for all radius of rotation. The radius of rotation is changing continuously without changing the speed. That is known as isochronous. This is infinite sensitivity. Infinite sensitivity. So another term is hunting. Another term is hunting. So one governor is there. If you change the speed, the sleeve will lift. Sleeve will lift. If you decrease the speed, sleeve will come down. Come down. If you want to maintain a mean speed, it is rotating at high speed. If you reduce the speed, it has to occupy the mean position. Without occupying the mean position, the sleeve will be moving up and down, up and down. It will take long time to come to rest. Long time to come to rest. That is known as hunting. That is, when the speed is changed, the sleeve has to come to the equilibrium position suddenly. So without coming to mean position suddenly, it will go below the mean position. It will go above, below, above, below, above. Finally, it takes a long time, like vibration. Like vibration, it takes long time to come to the mean position. That is known as hunting. That is known as hunting. So that is, when speed is changed, the sleeve will be moving up and down from the mean position, and come to the mean after a long time. So that is known as hunting. So this means sensitivity is little more. Sensitivity is little more. So then only hunting will happen. If sensitivity is less, so immediately it will come to the mean position. It will not oscillate. It will not vibrate. Right? Then effort and power. Effort means the force acting on the sleeve is known as effort. The force acting on the mean effort, that is known as effort. The force acting on the sleeve is known as effort. Power means work done in the sleeve is known as power. What is work done? The force acting on the sleeve multiplied by lift. multiplied by lift of the sleeve. That is known as work done. That is known as work done. Effort means the mean force acting on the sleeve. Power is the mean force acting on the sleeve multiplied by the sleeve lift is equal to power. That is work done on the sleeve. Then controlling force diagram. Controlling force diagram. Controlling force diagram means if you draw a graph between the centrifugal force, FC, centrifugal force and radius of rotation, you will get a graph. You will get a graph. This graph is known as controlling force diagram. So the controlling force diagram is used to predict what kind of governor it is, whether it is isochronous governor or stable governor. Stable opposite is isochronous. So whether it is a stable or isochronous, we want stable governor. We want stable. So the what kind of governor it is, that can be predicted from the controlling force diagram. So what is controlling force diagram? That is force, the graph drawn between the centrifugal force and radius of rotation. So using this controlling force diagram, we will be able to predict one governor is isochronous or stable. So now we have discussed so many things about governors, and also we have discussed about different governors, and also we have discussed about different governors. What is the need for discussing this much amount of governors? Because we want stable governor. We want stable governor. We don't want more sensitive governor. More sensitive governor. Sensitivity should be medium. It should not be too high or too low. What will happen is, if sensitivity is too high, the governor will be, the sleeve will be oscillating continuously. When speed is changed, the sleeve will be oscillating continuously. That is more sensitive means. If less sensitive means, even you change the speed, the sleeve will not lift properly. Sleeve will not. So we want a stable governor. We want a stable governor. A definite configuration must be there, and also sensitivity should be medium. So for that only, we are going for different governors. So generally, the watt governor will be more sensitive. So we want to reduce the sensitivity, and we want a stable governor. That's what we are going for, different types of governors.